Have a good day, dear students. My name is Mayuri Karya. I hope you all are well at your home. With this, we people are starting our first chapter's quick recap, Standard 8 Social Science History Ncert book. The book name is our Pasts-3 Part 1. In that, we have already completed the Chapter 1, How, When and Where. In this way, people will see first mind map, which makes understanding easier. This one is my humble try to make you understand in an easy way any chapter in a small, and we can say that you people will easy to understand. In this first topic was dates are important. In that the people are telling history is synonym with the dates. The meaning of the history is to maintain the dates. That's why many students feel history bored or monotonous. Second point, the people are telling that we compare the past with present. History is a thing about to compare two events which had been occurred before and then. Okay, so means history is in a history we comparing the past and presents. Then we people have which dates are important. In history many dates are coming and everyone has to remember that dates. Okay, so which dates are important? First one depends on the story of past. And another second topic the people are telling focus on a particular set of event. Means for this the people have given the example that which dates are important. So for that which dates the people have to be maintained, that is means for example the people had given the means life of a king, when the king had been born, when he had been came on throne, when he had been married, when he had his son, when which means battles he had won, when means he choose his successor. All these important events are, so means for these events we have to maintain the dates. Then another point was there, what we periodize. Okay, so in that the people are periodizing the Indian history. For that different historians are having different opinion. In that for most probably the James Mill came in British era and he divided Indian history into three parts: Hindu, Muslim, British. Okay, why he has divided Indian history in this three part? He considering Vedic Kal as a Hindu. In that means Hindu rulers were dominating in India. Then Muslim rulers came and Mughal Empire has been established. Okay, so that period he has been divided in Muslim. Then Britishers, and when Britishers came, that era he has been divided as a British. For this to divide Indian means he has written a book, History of India. Next, our Indian history is most probably dividing in a three part commonly. First one ancient, second one medieval, and third one modern. Ancient history means whatever the means period of Vedic Kal and that era, that is going to be called the ancient. Up to Harshvardhana means King Harshvardhana, the ancient period is going to be considered. After King Harshvardhana, whatever the period start, it is being considered as a medieval period. And from where up to means when Britishers came in India, up to there means medieval period is going to be considered. From where Britishers came in India, that era is being started to modern era and up to here. Okay, so means our Indian history is commonly divided in this way. Now, what is colonial? Colonial means refers to British rule. And a second point, the people are telling British rule brought changes in value and customs and practices. So what is colonial? So colonial means when Britishers came in India, the people established their own colonies to live, and the people were living in that particular colonies. Okay, and slowly the people have started to rule on India. That's why means that whatever the rule started, that is started to being called a colonial rule. Okay, after that means Britishers came wherever went in any country and started to rule, that is going to be called the colonial rule. So colonial or colonial rule is the same thing, but and they wherever the people went, or when the people came in India also, the people come with means their customs, rituals, their mentality, means ideology and everything. So means they brought changes also in values, customs and practices in India, Indian people life also. The next point is surveys become important. Britishers were emphasizing on the survey, means whatever the people want, work the people are doing, first the people are doing the survey, means the people are taking the opinion of normal people or whatever the thinking and ideology of other people, first they, that also means the people are considering, that is called the survey. And after that means they on that basis the people are taking the further decisions or whatever the people want to do. So surveys are important. First point, the people are telling practice of survey become common. Means whatever work the people are starting, first work the people were doing to survey the to do the survey on that project. Next the people are telling botanical, zoological, archaeological and forest survey done. So in many areas the people have started to do the survey. Then the people are telling archives and museums were established to preserve important records in each and every manner, means the people have started to do the survey, so many records has been prepared. In book we have already learned that the people have been attached record rooms also with each government institutions. So this many records tellings about the histories. So to preserve these records, the people have established archives and museums. Okay, now we people will remember the important dates, the commons timeline that comes in this chapter. First one, in 1773 Warren Hastings became the first Governor General of India. Then second thing was there in 1920s the National Archive of India came up in the New Delhi, means in 1920 the National Archive of Museum has been established in New Delhi. Then 1870 James Mill published a massive 3-volume book, A History of India. Then in History of India he has divided Indian history into this 3 part: Hindu, Muslim and British. Okay, so means the book name of the James Mill is History of India. Now next we will see important notes of chapter 1. Standard 8 over Pasts-3 chapter 1. Important notes. First one, James Mill, a Scottish economist and political philosopher, in his book A History of British India in 1870 CE classified Indian history into 3 different periods, namely Hindu, Muslim and Christian. According to Mill, before the advent of the British in India, Indians were ruled by Hindu and Muslim rulers. Okay, so means that we have already discussed in chapter also and in mind map also that James Mill had written a book, A History of British India, and that in that he had divided Indian history into 3 parts: Hindu, Muslim and British. Here written Christian, so British and Christian is the same thing. Okay, so means he is describing the India at that time. Now second point, moving away from the Mill's classification of Indian history, most of the historians classified Indian history as ancient, medieval, modern. This division is marked in the manner in which the society, economy, politics, art and culture gradually changed over a time. So that means besides of James Mill, many historians has divided Indian history in most probably two part: ancient, medieval and modern. And in that the people have been mentioned whatever the change came time by time, era by era. Okay, now third point, In Europe, modern age began from the 16th century, but in India, it began from the 18th century. This is because most of the changes that are characteristics of modern time began in this period. These changes first occurred in Europe and then took place in our country when it was divided into a small big independent state. Okay, so what the people are telling, in Europe the modern means age started in 16th century, but in India it is started in 18th century. The most of the reason to means because of this difference is European people or merchant has to go in different countries to search many resources. We know very well India was a means India had having many resources or riches in at that time. So most of them means what happened, other people came in India for trading and business to do. Now in Europe the condition was like that at that time, that the people had to travel to get some resources. In history also means we people have learned, means even the people have to go in different country to search means spices and means good material cloth also. So means the people are traveling to in a different part of country, so because of that they are having many experiences and they had means they got many, they have done many inventions. So the modern time, what is the meaning of modern time? Many inventions started to done, so means the people have started to done inventions in a early manner, and India it came later on. So that's why in Europe modern age began from 16th century, but in India it began from the 18th century. Now fourth point, administration of Indian state was very weak and the life and the property of the people were insecure. This political bondage kept our country backward and delayed the process of modernization in India. At that time, when Britishers came, at that time administration was so weak. Because of that means many rulers came in India, and each and everyone want to conquer means each other's land. So in other meaning, we people can say that they were not having a unity. Okay, so unity was not there, so obviously administration was weak, and people were means somehow their properties or people were feeling insecure. So the modern in that because of that also our country was backward and delayed the process of modernization in India. Now fifth one, the modern period of the Indian history extend over a period of about 250 years. During this time India was a colony of the British Empire. In the early 18th century India was influenced by the relationship which existed between the other European powers as well. Means in Indian history is having means that period, in that period before 250 years means India was under the British Empire, and early 18th century was influenced by the relationship which existed between the other European powers also. So we know very well besides of Britishers many means foreigners came in India to rule, like Portuguese, French, Dutch people and everyone. Okay, so the people are telling that many European powers as well, so they means with that. Sixth one, historians use a variety of resources to reconstruct the history of modern India, which began after the fall of the Mughal Empire. So, means historians trying to get the many resources to know the means history that what happened after the decline of Mughal Empire. Seventh one, the word source refers to any piece of writing, books, manuscripts, travelogue, inscriptions, coins, monuments, or any evidences of particular period. By studying the source of Indian source, historians reconstruct history. Means by whatever the sources of the history, so these are the sources means writing books, manuscripts, travelogue, inscriptions, coins, monuments and evidences of the particular period. Means these are the sources of the history. By studying this, the people are trying to construct the means history again. each one point, sources can be either primary or secondary. The literary evidences and all original documents together comprise primary sources, while secondary sources refers to those accounts and works which are based on the primary sources. Basically, the people are telling the secondary sources are depends on the primary sources. If I am telling that in some books means it has been means sorry, in somewhere means we people historians found traces of means grains or cereals. Okay, so because of that the people came to know about the another information that at in that era what people were eating. Okay, so means what the first information the people got of the traces of grains and cereals, that is being called the primary means information or evidences. On of that means the people are getting the secondary information or evidences that at that time what people were eating. So basically the secondary informations are means depend on the primary information. Now ninth one, the British believe that if a country had to be administrative effectively, surveys has to be conducted properly to map the entire territory apart from topography, soil pattern, vegetation, etc. Here print mistake is there. It is not service, it is surveys. Surveys also assist in understanding the entire history of a country. So means the people are telling that if anyone want to be do the administrative effectively, so first the people have to be know the opinion of the people or basic things, whatever the basic informations about anything means on which project the people are going to be work. So basic informations the people have to be collect, that is called the survey. So means Britishers means emphasizing to do the surveys first and then to take any decision or any further steps. 10th one point, the British conducted a number of surveys in various parts of the world like archaeological, botanical, zoological, forest, revenue, census, etc. The British government introduced the system of writing in each department so that all work could be done smoothly. Means Britishers were means believing that whatever the work they have to do, first the people have to do the surveys helping them to get the basic information, and after that the people can take any decision or any idea that what the people should do further. Okay, for that they means these surveys the people are means maintaining the records also. The people have attached means record rooms in each and every government institutions also to do the work smoothly. 11th one, the colonial India memo. In colonial India, memos, letters, notes, reports, written instructions and directives which were sent from the top level British officials to the lower level provide valuable information to historians. Like means at that time means top level persons are sending some particular reports or information to the down level person. These that records are also means right now that much important, and they are telling about much more for the history. Okay, so these that things are also means even means too much important. Okay, thank you so much students. I hope you people like this lecture, and definitely you people will revise this lecture again. Thank you so much.